Here is a General Electric strap fan. Let's take a look at the informations. Here, this is a model number or category number F11PG10. The voltage is 110 120 volts, 60 cycles. You can also run it at 110 volts with 50 cycles. The ampage or the power is 0.6. It says made in USA. So I got this fan at an antique store, paid $20 or $30 for it, which is a cheaper purchase compared to what my luck was at antique stores. But I decided to get it because the main reason is, look, it has a protective guard. So yeah, this is considered safe compared to the rest of my vintage fans I've worked with. So it was $30, and believe it or not, it was the most expensive out of all of them. And this was like the newest of the bunch too. There were 3 other fans there. There was a Superior Electric fan, 8-inch. That was like $25. There was also a Jack Frost fan for $25, but it had a broken switch and a frayed cord. I might go back there someday and get that one. It would be a good project for one of my classes in high school. And some sort of McGraw Edison looking thing that's not a Manning Bowman, Coranda, or any of those names, but it looks like a McGraw Edison. That one was sold for like $27. So this one right here was newest of the bunch, but yet the most expensive. But I paid the extra $5 for this one because I thought it looks cool with the protective guard, and it might become valuable in another 50 years. They did take some design improvements also. They didn't just... I think with all strap fans, this is the first strap fan I've ever worked with, but what they did not have on the Vortelexes was a rubber grommet to hold the blade onto. Now that is a design improvement, but at the same time, that design also has a downside. The improvement is that the rubber grommet that has the blade on it creates a silent operation. But the only downside with that is that rubber does not last forever, so if you nick up that rubber grommet, you're basically SOL and the fan is ruined. Unless if you can find a replacement, which I highly doubt they have replacements for these. Nor do I think these are very common anymore nowadays. Right here is the oscillation mechanism. You actually turn it to the right to tighten it. You turn to the left to make it stop oscillating. And the switch right here is a push button switch. And it's just a single speed. One thing that I find kind of interesting, that it's a wall mount fan. But to make it wall mount adaptable, you unscrew the swing nut, turn the base over, and then that becomes a wall mount fan. Which I think I might do someday. Probably the record room, I'll do it because there's already a nail in the wall, so why not have this fan in there? So, and here is the cord. This is probably the original cord. It's still flexible. There's no cracks, there's no nicks, so I'm going to keep it on there. And I'm sure these fans are probably more valuable with their original cords than having replaced, so I'm just going to keep it on there. Here's what the plug looks like. It's that typical 60s design where it's narrow and non-polarized. So I'm going to plug this thing up and show you guys of it running. Here's on. As you can see, This fan runs perfectly fine, and I've not even oiled this thing. I mean, I have not, I've attempted to service this thing. This guard is so difficult to get off that I had to use 2 pairs of pliers to get it off. And I have not figured out how to get the blade off. But I don't want to ruin that rubber grommet, because once you do that, you're done. So if anyone has any tips to make or how the blade comes apart, I would appreciate some feedback. But anyway, this fan really pushes out some air. And it runs and blows like it was brand new. I absolutely love these older fans because they're a lot more powerful than the junk made today. And they're actually quiet. I mean, this fan back when it was sold new was considered a throwaway fan, because there's no visible screws on it. I've tried getting the motor housing apart so I can access the bearings so I can oil them, and I have not. I've pulled this oscillation up and removed that, but I honestly don't know how this fan comes apart. So if you guys know how one of these comes apart, I would love to see it, because I need to see it. And I'm going to turn it off, and I'll show you guys of it oscillating. So you just screw this little knob thing down, and that's what engages the oscillation. Alright. Here's the fan with oscillation. And it still works after approaching 60 years later. And I don't know what is with the McGraw-Edison fans and their oscillations not working, but I've seen a lot of the McGraw-Edison fans having their oscillation broken. So I honestly don't know what is with them. But this one, the oscillation still works. So that might be another reason why this fan costs $30. And I'm going to turn this thing off, and I'll show you guys the spin down time. Much like the Westinghouse, it oscillated to the wrong angle. Well, that's fine. I can probably fix this in seconds. There we go. That should be good. Well, there you have it. My 1960s GE strap fan. Thank you. Have a nice day.